Now, you can't cheat back and not let them find out. You got to be messy when you cheat back.
Know nothing about
What's the point of cheating back if they don't find out?
This is true, I guess.
You got to let them find out.
Okay, and then how did that blow over?
Whew.
Let's sit on the couch, let's talk it out. Come on, join the show, I'll tell you what I know. Oh, talk about it. It's the best podcast, let's have a blast.
Come on in the room because we are already on the healing couch. So I actually slid into today's guest DMs last year and he never replied. But it wasn't on like anything weird too. It was just trying to connect. So today is very full circle from politics to entertainment. He's a breakout star on Mathis Family Matters. Greg Mathis Jr.
What's up,
Welcome
Archie?
to season 3.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I do apologize. Let me tell you what, when I say I love your show and just the work you are doing.
Yes.
And I call it work because it's work for our community, elevating our voices.
We clock in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have fun, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Let's talk about it.
Well, thank you for being here. I want to get straight to it. I want to go from, the past to the present. Is there anything that you regretted about your childhood?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I try not to live my life with a lot of regret because I really do think that, the path we walk is laid before us by God.
Yeah.
And the only choice we have is to walk it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't live my life thinking too much about regret. I really put my energy into what's coming next and how I can give back to the world.
How did you mentioned God? How did you grow up in the church? Like, what was your denomination?
And I should unpack that actually because it's probably, I know it's weird for people to hear a gay person talk about the church in this climate.
I don't think so.
Well, a lot of people do because the church has pushed so many of us away.
That is also a thing.
I talked about this on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to church every single Sunday.
Yeah.
And the pastor would say the craziest stuff. And I would go home and actually, for a stretch of my life, pray not to be gay. I mean, I know that's not unique to a lot of people in our community.
No, but yes, it's a real thing because they're preaching against.
And so the church did push me away. And I had to find my way back to religion separately from anything the church could do because a lot of the churches these days talk about hate. And the church really is a place of love. And so I do, I'm very religious. My faith is important to me. But at the same time, I recognize that complexity in it.
Now, we're going to lighten it up for sure, but you mentioned the church. So what is the church like today? How do you show up? And have you found a church to where you feel like, okay, I'm at home?
Not out here yet. Let me know if you have a good one.
Okay.
Because what's important to me is I call myself a spiritual Christian where I don't necessarily believe the Bible because it's been bastardized by so many men over the years and changed in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily believe that scripture in the way it should be. Mm-hmm. And so I use it as a guide to my life and not necessarily the end all be all. So it's important to me to find a church that's open-minded, that doesn't, kind of stick to doctrine in the way that it might be read strictly from the Bible.
Now, growing up as Judge Mathis' son, did you ever milk it and pull that card?
Yes. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm not going to say it worked either, though. I think when I was 16, I tried to use it to get into a nightclub and they were like, who?
yeah. Okay. That's valid. What responsibility do you feel like you have towards your community, though? We saw you come out on the show and you're walking in your truth today, but what responsibility do you feel like you have?
To live my life authentically and giving back to the world in the best way that I can.
Yeah.
I think we all have a responsibility to give back to each other. And one of the best things that I feel like came out of Mathis Family Matters, for me personally, I got something out of it too. I mean, it allowed me to grow in a way that I don't think I would have without the show. Mm-hmm. It forced me to come out to the world in a way that I probably would have waited years to. And the blessing about that is I feel like I'm living my life for the first time in an authentic, fun way. And I mean, it's opened up a world of possibilities and just enjoyment that I didn't have before. Yeah. And so a part of me feels like my responsibility is showing other people that went through the same trauma I went through growing up, that have some of that shame still in them, some of that, where you question yourself as a gay Black man, especially. I mean, we get it on both ends, the Black and the gay side.
I'm curious to know how big you think, because yes, you spoke about, your dad's following and, you being tied to that, but how big do you think your, history and politics also played a part of that?
I mean, look, I got into politics because I wanted to help people, right? And so I had a great opportunity to do that. I was in it for 10 years, and transitioning to entertainment has actually shown me that you almost have a bigger opportunity to inspire people and to give back, because in politics, unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where it's so divisive. It's so everybody just wants to fight each other. I don't really know if people are listening. Entertainment, people are still watching. People are still listening.
Okay.
So you can get at some of the same things that I'm passionate about being in entertainment and not necessarily having to stick to politics. And that's why I have tried to make that transition a little bit. Obviously, my family's out here, so that's a big incentive too. But I think my goal with this is to try and use my voice, use whatever I can give back to help people.
I love it. As a gay man, which do you care less about? Abortion laws or gender equity in hiring?
Don't get in trouble for this, but abortion laws.
Why?
I think that, I don't know. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. I'm not gonna get in trouble by trying to expound on it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Your voice cracked. You said, oh, okay, valid, sure. What city are you gonna go see Beyonce though? Because you know everybody's, did you get your ticket?
Toronto, baby. Yes,
you go to Toronto?
did.
You got them?
I got the best friends in the world. Let me tell you, Archie, they managed to get 12 tickets. I didn't even know they were doing this, by the way. They managed to get 12 tickets to the show in Toronto. And so our whole crew is going up there July 8th. We're going to tear up the city.
I cannot.
Catch us in Toronto.
Get a ticket.
You should come too. Come on up to Toronto.
Tell somebody to grab a ticket for me and I will send you the money. I cannot get on the line to get one. It is so difficult.
Come on, all these guests you done had up in here, ain't nobody in Beyonce's circle?
Beyonce. Parkwood.
Need to email her people.
Get over here, okay?
Beyonce, help them out.
I get it. Okay. What advice do you have for other gay men? Because you're in a relationship. It's very public. It's very public. You know, you're thriving. People like y'all, right? But what advice do you have for other gay men who are single but are intentional about trying to attract a good match for them?
Lead with love and don't take it too seriously. Lead with love. I mean, I think a lot of times in our community, I got friends that like, they don't want this, they don't want that. They go into a relationship with the whole wrong mindset of what they want out of a person, what they want in a relationship, how they want to feel. Yeah. But like for me, I've learned that when you lead with love, everything else follows along. If you can look at somebody and say, you ain't perfect, you ain't never gonna be perfect, but I love you anyway. And maybe that love gets reciprocated. That's what love is about to me. Like, I don't expect Elliot to be perfect. He don't expect me to be perfect. I let him do him. He lets me do me. And then we come together and we have something beautiful that we share and we protect it and we protect each other. And I think I've seen so many relationships. My friends will call me and I gotta be on the phone for an hour and a half. And I'm like, is this really what y'all are arguing about? Like, just shut the hell up and move on. Like, forget about it.
How do y'all argue?
We don't anymore.
You don't argue at all?
I mean, I tell them when I'm upset. I tell them if something bothered me. But, I mean, we used to, don't get me wrong, we used to argue.
Okay. So how do you get away from that?
I had one friend that told me in the first 2 years of our relationship, he said, I ain't coming over here no more because every time I come over, y'all chasing each other up and down the hallway.
Soberly?
It was that bad at one point. But, you know, we did the work and we really learned how to communicate with each other. We learned how to be gentle with each other and we learned how to let stuff go. Like, let stuff go. There's always going to be something that could piss you off. There's always going to be something that make you mad. Like, do I really care that much that he didn't close the damn kitchen cabinet? No, I really don't. I don't.
Close the cabinet now.
But stuff like that can spiral into like, get out my house if you let it. If you let that energy build up inside you. And so it's really about leading with love and just not letting the small, irrelevant shit build up into a fight.
Yeah. Do you want kids? Yeah. So, okay. So I have a question for you. How do you mentally prepare to be open to those kids having their own identities coming into the world and not pushing your wants and beliefs onto them like many of our parents have done, you know, not intentionally?
Yeah. So and me and Elliot have talked about this already, about our philosophies in parenting. I'm more of a free-range parent, and he's kind of similar to where I am.
Like the eggs? Like the free-range eggs? You know, eggs are expensive now.
Get out of here. Go ahead. Go ahead and figure it out.
Right.
But no, like, I do believe you got to let your kids learn. You got to let them make mistakes. Like, that's what life is about. Life is about experiencing the good, the bad, and the ugly and learning from it. Now, I'm not going to let them cross the street when the light says don't walk.
Right.
But, like, at the same time, I'm going to sit there and take the time to explain to them why it's dangerous to cross that street. You know, you want to make sure your kids understand the world around you, not hide the world from them, because they're going to see it sooner or later.
Yeah.
Growing up, we were sheltered. Like my dad was like, you can't sleep out. You can't do this. Like we had every rule in the world. And guess what? We did it all anyway. We figured out a way. We made a way.
Yeah, you were bad young.
I was bad. Okay. And I feel like how sheltered we were to a certain extent made me even worse as a kid. So I was like, I definitely don't want to do that with my kids. Like,
you were Paris Hilton. Running a town.
Yep. Well, it's funny you said that because that's who we used to hang out with.
So
when we first moved to LA, I'm telling you, we came from Detroit to LA, Archie. And it was a culture shock for us. It was my sophomore year of high school, going into junior year is when I moved to LA. My brother Amir went to school with Paris Hilton's younger brother, Baron Hilton.
Your brother's fine.
Yeah, you want me to give you his number? You can shoot your shot.
Right. Okay.
But so he went to school with Paris Hilton's younger brother, and she lived across the street from my parents at the time as well. So we'd be sneaking out the house, going out with Paris and Baron.
What a life.
During the week. Yes, it was a moment. It was a moment.
Wow. And what was your go-to drink then?
Tequila. It was tequila, still is.
Do you think it's valid to be apprehensive towards those people that become famous through activism?
No, because I think that everybody should use their voice in the way that suits them best. And I think that, activism doesn't mean you got to be poor, in my opinion. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy life like everybody else, because at the end of the day, you're still doing the work.
Right. That's real. Okay. Would you advise me to try moonshine? Now, I was on your TikTok. You were somewhere in the Carolinas.
I was in Charleston.
Drinking some...
with Elliot's family, and they set me up.
Drinking some moonshine, and then you were slumped in the car. Would you advise it? Because you didn't give us the review.
I took 2 shots.
Okay.
I got some in my refrigerator if you want to try it.
No, I actually kind of...
I brought a bottle about this size back. All you need is about this.
Really?
And you'll be done for
Oh
the
my
day.
gosh, what are you doing this weekend?
I ain't doing nothing. I'll be here.
Okay, wow. What scares you about yourself?
Procrastination. That's my scariest. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah. How do you overcome that, though? Because let me tell you something. When I was younger and I was, interviewing for jobs and stuff, my major is media comms. I'm also a digital specialist. And so having those different types of jobs are like in networks and corporations. And so somebody would always be like, when they ask you what your weakness is, have something so that you feel like, so that you seem or whatever, like you're aware of yourself and you know your weakness, but then also counteract that weakness by being able to have a practice to overcome it. So I would be like, procrastination, but I put some sticky notes down and I figured out, but how do you overcome it?
So I usually put markers in place. So I'm like, I can't, like a reward for myself, for example. So like, I can't watch this show until I finish this assignment. So if it takes me 2 days, like I put rewards behind myself. Like once I finish this, I'll be able to go on this vacation or I'll be able to do this. So I always try and put markers down.
What's your toxic trait?
Being a know-it-all.
Really?
That's what my family calls me.
Oh, yeah.
I talk too much.
That's why you got a lot of arguments. Yeah. Okay.
I'm working on myself, though.
And so you dated before Elliot. What advice would you give to an ex?
Do better next time.
Do better next time? Not the Beyonce song. What's it say? What goes around comes back around. Okay. And so how has your values changed over the years?
Over the years, I have learned that I'm happiest when I am thinking about how I can serve others in the world in place of myself. I think when I was younger, when I was growing up, when I was hustling, trying to figure out where I was going to put my place and my mark on the world, it was all about me. What can I do? What job am I going to get? Like, who can I network with? Who can I talk to get this? Like, what can I do to get what I want?
Yeah.
Now I found that not only am I happier, but like it's actually been a lot more productive when I focus on what can I give to the world. And not that it has to be money, because it ain't like I got a lot of money. I mean, my daddy's rich, I ain't rich. But I focus on my energy. If I can give, just help a friend out with something. And that has really been like a saving grace for me.
You're such a humanitarian. You as you mentioned, like lead with love and things like that.
Well, because like I just find, I guess it comes from a selfish place too. I find that's when I'm most at peace. And that's when I feel the best about myself and the people in my circle is when I'm operating from that place of love and not selfishness.
Yeah. Well, you're leading with love. Have you ever been cheated on? How did you handle that?
Cheated back.
Now, what did that
I told you I grew and I've been working on myself.
Okay. Did they find out? And what was the...
No, you can't cheat back and not let them find out. You got to be messy when you cheat back.
Know nothing about
What's the point of cheating back if they don't find out?
This is true, I guess.
You got to let them find out.
Okay. And then how did that blow over? Not grabs the drink. Okay.
Let's just say we went to therapy and worked it out.
Oh,
right?
okay. We love therapy on this show.
7
This is
years
therapy on a budget.
7
Thank you
years
for
later,
tuning
here we
in.
are.
Okay. What's your love language? Hold on, wait. Y'all take, did she with the one you with now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I told you we've been through some stuff, but you know, you got to grow with each other. And we've done that. We've done the work and we've been through a lot. And that's how I know at this point, can't shit break us because we've been through everything.
Yeah. How do you feel about open relationships?
We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Don't get me wrong. We actually talk about it every now and then. I think right now we're having fun. Like we are continuing to explore each other even all these years later. And I think, especially once we did the work to really, I feel like we are really in tune with each other.
Yeah.
And
that's important.
I mean, the sex is good. It's like we don't need to look elsewhere.
There you go.
I think if it ever got to a point where we did, we definitely would. But
And physical touch was your favorite top line? Oh, okay. What is your favorite belief system, though, that Elliot has?
I love that he's a man of faith. Both of us are. I like that he puts his faith first and takes it seriously and doesn't just say the shit. Like he actually is a man of faith.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And so most of us, like I mentioned earlier, most of us know about the coming out story, right? And, you know, and talking about it on the show. But what has been the most impactful outreach that you've received from people, you know, being able to gravitate to that story?
So when the show first aired, it was so much outreach. And that may have been when you sent me a message. I couldn't even keep up with it all. And that's when it let me know, because I really didn't know what the response was going to be when we were filming the show. I mean, you never do. I knew that I was nervous. I knew I was scared. I knew that it was a lot for me to put myself out there like that. I'd never been on TV before or in the public eye for that matter.
Yeah.
And so the response really has been like an outpouring from everybody, and especially parents. That was maybe the most fulfilling responses I got, is parents that came to me and were actually like, watching you and your dad's relationship caused them to rethink their relationship with their own kids.
Yeah.
And I got...
It's such a good one.
Yeah, I got dozens of those that I actually read, and I thought that, and those were the ones that I was just like, this is actually something. Like, it's actually having an impact.
Yeah. Well, can you play a game with me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it's called Fact or Opinion. Fact or Opinion. Can you give me a jingle? Make me up a jingle.
Doo-doo. Oh, wait, it got to be one that's not trademarked, right?
No, make me up a jingle.
Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
Fact or Opinion. Yeah. Yeah. What am I, a fucking Nickelodeon child? Okay. Ostriches do not hide their head. I can't read. Ostriches do not hide their head in the sand. Fact or opinion?
Opinion.
It's a fact. Poppers help you relax during sex.
Fact.
That's an opinion.
What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Raven and Ashley Tisdale knew each other before Disney Channel. Raven Simone.
Fact.
That is a fact,
Okay,
yes.
I got one right. There we go.
New York Times says threesomes help strengthen your relationship.
Fact for some.
That was an opinion piece.
Okay, good.
Peeing in the shower saves water.
Ew. Opinion.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
It's a fact.
You're right.
Yes.
I got distracted because the first thought that popped in my head is I know someone that does that. And I started thinking about them.
You've never peed in the shower?
I have, but I don't make a regular practice of it.
Oh, well, regular practice.
Somebody told me, they were like, what? It goes right down the drain and it washes away. Why not?
It does.
You know what, Archie? You pee in the shower?
It does. I have done it. Sometimes when you're in the shower, you're like, I gotta pee. Do you want to get out and get the whole entire floor wet? Wherever you are, like it's just
like my friend.
It's just crazy. Okay, Beyonce is the greatest performer of all time.
Fact.
That is a fact on this show.
Fact.
That's a fact on this show.
I don't want to hear. I'm
That's
sorry.
a fact
I love
on
her
this
to
show.
death. Good luck on the Super Bowl. I don't hear nothing about no Rihanna. I don't hear like Beyonce.
Beyonce. New York City is not the capital of New York State.
Fact.
That's a fact. Yeah. Missionary is actually the superior position.
Opinion.
That's an opinion. Yeah. Foreplay is more fun than sex.
Opinion.
You disagree?
Yes.
It is an opinion. Los Angeles Hollywood sign originally said Hollywood land.
Fact.
Yeah, it is a fact. Rabbits can't be sick.
Can be sick.
Then they can't.
Fact.
That's a fact?
Yeah.
It's a fact, yes. A dog was once voted mayor 4 times in Minnesota.
Fact. That sounds like some shit they were doing in Minnesota.
It's Minnesota, yeah. And the majority of gay Americans love tequila.
Fact.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion.
No, I've done plenty of focus groups on this one. And this
Oh,
is
really?
fact.
What was the research? What was the percentage?
I was at Brandon's party on Sunday and everybody had tequila. Every single table you look around, that heart had tequila on it.
Oh, wow. Yes, shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have
on
any
the show.
poignant questions you want to ask me?
What do I want to know about Archie J?
Uh-oh.
What inspired you to do this?
You clearly haven't tuned into the show because I talk about this.
More recently, I watched the last few episodes. I'm a more recent follower.
What inspired me to do the show? I was in radio, I was in therapy, and I was like, how can I morph those similar vibes, but also, have that LGBTQIA edge?
Yeah.
And here we are today. Therapy
Makes
on a
sense.
budget.
I was about to say, it feels like therapy.
Conversations, and, stresses and messes right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Well, thank you for coming. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, friend.
Archie J, y'all.
Hey friends, thanks so much for tapping into this episode. Make sure you subscribe, like, and follow for more right here on YouTube and wherever you stream your podcast. Oh, and visit archiej.com and follow me on social media at ArchieJ okay? And don't miss our weekly conversations right here on the Archie Podcast. Get into it.